Good afternoon, and welcome to Dojo Live, connecting experts like you. My name is Carlos Ponce, joining you from Mexico City once again, and co-hosting with me today is my fellow Newsoftian, Sandra Vasquez, right from our Hermosillo office. Hi, Sandra.
Hi everyone, really excited to be here today as a co-host.
As ever, you do it very gracefully. So, for our fourth interview, season four, we're going to be chatting with Judah Musick. He's a co-founder at Tagible, a software as a service company, featuring a platform that delivers curated, rich media content on demand for the savvy traveler. Welcome, Judah, to Dojo Live.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, it's our pleasure. Okay, today we'll be discussing the future of travel and hospitality content, and we're going to be talking about how major travel and hospitality companies are leveraging on-demand media content to increase engagement, social sharing, and bookings. I really look forward to hearing more, Judah. So, Judah, I'd like to start off by asking you a couple of questions. But would you mind telling us a little bit about Tagible and about you? So let's start with that, and then we'll move on to today's topic. Welcome to the show.
Perfect. Thank you. So yeah, we some partners and I here in Denver, Colorado, we started Tagible actually about 4 years ago, but in a different vertical. We were in real estate. And we started with a video organization tool for real estate brokers and franchises and their agents, and worked on that product for about 1.5 years. And the whole time we were doing that, we kept seeing Google publishing white papers about travel content. And essentially what Google was saying, and still says today, is that we live in this really amazing time period in history where everybody's going on these epic trips around the world, and they have really amazing cameras in their pockets. So they've got iPhones, Androids, GoPros, 360-degree cameras, whatnot, and they're uploading just a ton of media content, videos, photos, 360-degree views to the web. And yet Google kept saying there's more content than we can handle, and yet there's no travel companies that are taking advantage of that content. So we saw that as an opportunity, a big one. We ended up going through a travel startup accelerator hosted by Travelport, the GDS out of London. We spent 16 weeks with them developing this product, just in talking to their customers, their clients. So we work with hotels, tour operators, OTAs, offline travel agencies, and really everything in between in the travel and hospitality sector. And so it's really trying to find all this content that's out there on the web and available, and make it easy for travel, tourism, and hospitality companies to take advantage of it and leverage it on their own websites for their own engagement and booking reasons.
Thank you so much, Judah. Actually, before you came in, Sandra and I were here talking about Tagible, and well, we were kind of a couple of questions arose, but I think that before we get into that, I'd like to ask you to start off, what sort of let me word my thoughts, because sometimes I'm a little slow at this time of day. So what sort of when it comes to curating rich media content, we were kind of wondering how can it help us enrich the travel experience as a whole? Because one thing is media, and then it's our own experience as travelers and as users. So how can this curated content help us enrich our travel experience?
Yeah. So what happens is travel companies just in the US spend about $2.5 billion on Google AdWords. So they're buying a lot of traffic. And a lot of times the pages they're sending that traffic to is plain text, nothing but words on the page. It's really evident in the cruise industry, in the tour operator industry, where you're describing a product or a destination. And a lot of times it's a multi-day itinerary. So if you're going to Paris for 10 days or you're traveling Europe for 10 days, you have to describe the itinerary using words. Problem is nobody reads. Nobody likes to read. People are like, I know where they're saying I'm going to go, but I'm not going to read your marketing itineraries, right? It doesn't do anything for me. So what they actually do, and we know this for a fact because we record their screens, we record their sessions as they're shopping for real products. they start copying and pasting keywords from that text over into Google. And what they're looking for is media content. They're looking for videos or photos. You know, just show me a photo of the beach. Don't tell me this beautiful beach is gonna, you know, wow you and your family. But just show me what that is, or show me a video of that. And so what ends up happening is they end up leaving the site constantly because they're looking for this media that's not being given in the product page of the travel site. And then what happens is what's expensive, because they're going to fall on, you know, ads from competitors. They're going to see better deals. They may see bad reviews. They may just get distracted from their friends' photos on Instagram and forget what they were doing. So what our product does and how it enhances your experience is while you're shopping on that travel page, instead of just seeing words that describe your destination or your experience, you actually can hover over those words. We make the keywords interactive. You can actually hover over that word and then see a tooltip that will show you, hey, look, there's videos, there's photos, there's 360-degree panos of this keyword right here. You don't have to go to Instagram. You don't have to go to Google or Facebook to find the content. You can find it right here, and we will provide you with that content. You click on that, and then we overlay right on top of the page a media player that's fully branded, fully customized to the client, and you as the traveler get to really kind of experience what it is, what it looks like, what it may be like to go to that destination. So we give you everything you are looking for without the need to go off and find it yourself on Google.
Okay. Well, that, yeah, that makes sense, a lot of sense. So, Sandra, do you have any questions for Judah?
Yeah, I find it really interesting what you're saying about the people and how we actually do look for places to go. And it's right. I identify with the experience or trying to look for a place, but then the first thing you want to see is pictures and videos. I see that right now the technology is changing the way we travel, from the inspiration part to the booking part to actually living the experience. And I was talking with Carlos that maybe 10 years ago, video wasn't that popular, and Facebook and Instagram didn't exist. Facebook was just starting. And now there are technologies and platforms that are changing the way we look for places and we book these places. I wonder what are the new technologies or the new trends that you see changing the way we get inspired to travel in the future?
Yeah, so it's interesting. There's this whole, you know, the evolution of how you travel, how you shop for travel, and inspiration tends to be the first thing. We're a little bit deeper down the funnel than just pure inspiration. Most of our customers are using us on their product pages, and it's not people kind of going, oh, which beach destination should I go? It's not an app for you know, discovering new destinations. What it is, it's about bringing existing products to life with technology and with content. And so as a shopper, I probably already know I want to go to, you know, a certain destination, and I'm actually on the product page of a tour operator, a hotel, or a cruise line. And it's at that point where I risk falling out of their funnel because I'm going and looking for content that we retain them. So we engage them, we keep them on the page longer, and we inspire them to book. So the technologies we're using really is an aggregation technology to find all the content relevant to a keyword, and then obviously being able to use the right user elements and interactive elements to get them to engage with that content right on the page, make that feel native, make that feel like it was really meant to be a part of that page. And then when we push the boundary a little bit, you know, VR is a hot topic. You're going to hear a lot about it at Focusrite this year, I'm sure. We have some interesting things that we're working on when it comes to, once you have a user engaged, how do you engage them fully or further? And so that's where new technology is coming out to the market, the AR and the VR and 360 and all of that content, which we know Facebook has a very heavy interest in with all the things they're doing in that space. We have a different take on it. I see virtual reality as potentially a third form factor to desktop and mobile. So we have a working prototype of a VR app. It's the only one I've really seen on the market where you just turn your phone horizontal and it'll go into a VR landscape using web VR technologies. And so the beauty of that is you don't need to download any hardware. It's just another form factor. You've got your desktop view, you've got your mobile itinerary, turn it landscape, and you've got a VR component that you could toggle on or off. So it's a third view to those. And that's really, we see that as being a very promising new technology. It's still very early. It's still what I would call an edge case. But those that are really into it and those that like exploring things, I think you can really start to increase engagement quite a bit in putting content into those types of form factors.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Judah. Yeah, when it comes to something else that I was thinking is when it comes to rich media content, especially video, the video part, from my standpoint, is one of the major challenges is, how can I say this? The things like aspects like technical aspects like resolution and clarity and video quality, and even post-production, you know, so companies that invest in post-production and so on and so forth. So how does this technology, this new technology, smart technologies, make sure that all these qualities of the video experience, of the rich media content, are in place so that the user has a truly enriching and inviting experience?
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned video first. So when we say content, we're thinking of more than just video. So we kind of classify it as videos, photos, and 360.
Okay.
And video is interesting for us because it's actually the hardest to solve for the reasons you just mentioned, and there's many other reasons why video is hard. Photos are pretty straightforward, right? When you know a destination, what it looks like, what a quality photo should be, it's pretty easy to define. Same thing with 360. It's just a panoramic photo. So we really rely heavily on those two types of content. Video is the third place we look for content. It is the most engaging medium, but it's also, for some of the points you mentioned, harder to get right. When we're working with customers, it has to be right. And so, you know, we have a YouTube integration, we have a Vimeo integration, we can host video that the customer has created themselves. We're not creating any content. I wanted to make that clear to the audiences. We don't create any content, we just aggregate it from the social web based on what's being produced and uploaded. So if a museum is creating a great marketing video of their exhibits, we can find that content and attach it to a keyword that the travel site is promoting. However, we are experimenting pretty heavily on automating video content that would be on brand, that would be customized to our clients, and just doing that with different APIs and technologies where we can splice together 360 content with still images and kind of more of a B-roll footage. So we can create really high quality 30 to 60 second video clips for keywords. Remember, our content is all about a keyword. It's all about a point of interest on a map. So it's a destination, it's a city, it's a neighborhood, it's a attraction, an activity, or a geographical feature like a lake. A lot of times there is no video for Lake Como in Italy. There's a lot of like iPhone stuff from tourists. There's no official, you know, quality video for a lot of keywords that exist out there. So we are experimenting with being able to create high quality video at scale for customers that can be personalized. But you hit the nail on the head. It's a challenge to make sure we keep the quality high. The other challenge is just, does it get old? Does it get dated? You know, we have clients that will do something and mention an upcoming event. Well, as soon as you do that, that video is dated within 6 months. So there's definitely challenges that we're working around when it comes to video.
I see. Thank you so much, Judah. Sandra, back to you.
Yeah, I was wondering if you mentioned that you aggregate all the content depending on the keywords. Do you do anything related with the social validation?
With social what?
Social validation. Or is it only content? I mean, to clarify my question, do you aggregate also content from, let's say, an Instagram account?
Yeah.
Or a Facebook account?
Yeah, so you're correct. We find all of our content collectively for a keyword from multiple sources. I think we're up to like 7 sources of content right now, but I already mentioned YouTube and Vimeo. So we're working with their APIs. We're also very conscious of licensing, and one of our #1 FAQs is going to be, how do you get the right license permissions to use other people's content? And so we're using the APIs of various sources or repositories of content around the web. So we use Google. Obviously, we have a paid license with Google for their Street View photos and for their Google Place photos and their API. That's a paid license. That's actually our only paid license. Beyond that, we use like Flickr. So Flickr is the photography repository. There we use the API in Flickr to only find photos related to the keyword. We do some geolocation stuff. We do keyword searches. But we're only doing Creative Commons licensing validation. So we use a Creative Commons attribution model for most of the Flickr photos, and we can use their API to find content that way that has the right license so that my client can use it on a commercial website. We will handle the attribution. We use a site called Pixabay, which is a phenomenal website. They figured out how to incentivize professional photographers to upload to public domain. And so there's millions of photos, very high quality photos that are being uploaded to the public domain, which is amazing because that means we can use it without attribution. We integrate with Instagram, you mentioned. And so we can filter Instagram by publicly posted photos around location-based, around username-based, and around hashtag-based photos that we then have the right attribution back to Instagram users. And so there's a number of different sources of content that we do pull from and find the content that way. We don't do that much yet around popularity ranking. We are very interested in using some AI and just understanding what is a good photo versus a bad photo. Because right now we have humans that do that, and it's obviously time consuming. And so anything we can do with machine learning to know what, even if it's based on likes and views, to be able to rank and filter content faster is something we're interested in.
Okay, perfect. And you mentioned earlier.
Thank you, Sandra.
Oh, I am hearing myself. Not sure. Hello, can you hear me well?
Can you repeat? There was an echo. There was an echo, Sandra.
Yeah, not sure. Let me see if is it working now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Okay. I have another question, Judah. So what you mentioned is like the numbers of the amount of dollars that companies are spending on Google AdWords and on bringing people to their site is humongous. Yeah. So the better thing for a company is to try to make all the people to get into the site into a customer. What kind of impact can you tell for other companies that they will have by following this approach of having the content right there? What are some of the different metrics that you have seen impact, or your experience with current clients?
Yeah. So what we see is if a product page is text heavy, which is basically an itinerary and it's got a lot of words on it, and people don't like words. Okay, so we already talked about that. What we'll see is on average 30 to 50% of the total site traffic heavily engaging with our tool, our product. So 30 to 50% of the total site traffic. The other half could be just browsing or quickly going through stuff, or they don't understand the user experience or for whatever reason. But of those that engaged, we call those engaged users. Those are ones that are clicking in our software, opening up our media player or opening up our client's media player and consuming our content. Of those, we see 100% easy, a minimum of 100% increase on time on page. So that just means they're staying on our client's page twice as long consistently, and that number goes much higher depending on the demographic and the type of page. And then what's really actually the most exciting is we see up to a 325% on average increase in the click-through rate. So we're not tracking in every instance the pure conversion rate to a sale. We're tracking the click-through rate. The reason we're doing that is that we've actually put our clients' call to action buttons right on the media player. So next to all the content is the call to action button. Book now, buy now, call me, email me, whatever their call to action button is. We copy the look and the feel of that button 100%. We usually just take it right off their style sheet and we put it on the media player. So it's another way to make the content look custom, But really more importantly, it's put the call to action right in front of the user's nose at all times. So no matter if they're watching a video or they're in a pano, they've got that button right there. So we track clicks on that button. We also track clicks of engaged users on our client's call to action buttons natively on the page. And we can also A/B test the results. And so it's a true split test where we will send half of the site traffic to a page, the same page with or without the content, and then we can track the analytics that way as well. But what we're really looking at is engagement rate, what percentage of the traffic is engaging with the content, and what content are they engaging with. We look at time on page, and we look at click-through rate. We look at more things than that, but those are the three key metrics. And so a 3 times increase of engaged users is really what we're going for. And then the question is, how do we get more engaged users? So we're doing now things differently. We're doing embedded maps, so you can see all this content via an embedded map on the page. You can see all the points of interest on the map in the same tooltip, so you can put a lot more keywords into a map than you can maybe in a small paragraph of text. We're also embedding content galleries and media players, and so users can actually scroll through content for every keyword on the page, but within one media player, without having to go word by word. Okay, so we're doing those things to increase engagement so users can find more content faster.
Thank you, Judah. You broke up like for the last 3 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Sometimes these little glitches happen every now and then here. Okay, so Judah, as I was thinking of now going specifically to the topic of today, which is the future of travel hospitality content. In that sense, many things come in my mind. For example, if I as a I'm looking for a specific content, is the or inviting for me to engage geography relevant, or regardless of is it relevant whether that particular content is located?
You were breaking up a little bit for me now. I don't know if it's on my end. Sandra, could you hear him clearly?
I know you were breaking up a little bit, Carlos.
Could one of you repeat the question? You seem a lot better now, Carlos, if you want to repeat.
Yeah, I don't.
He just dropped off.
Okay. Yeah, I think he had some problems with the.
Did you hear what he said?
What?
Did you hear what he said?
Not really, but a little bit. So I mentioned that he was going to. He recalled the topic of the session about the future of travel and hospitality content. So what you mentioned quite interesting things about how you are now creating content into a map. That is something that I haven't seen that common on the different websites. What are the other innovations that you see coming related with content?
I usually just think about the way we're looking at content. There's lots of things that are happening in the world of travel startups in general. Mobile, I already mentioned VR, but the geographically based view of content is just another view. So mapping is becoming really big. When you look at hotels, if we want to talk hospitality, we've talked a lot about tour operators. Hotels and resorts and vacation rentals, obviously big industry and vertical there. Actually, the #1 reason why people book a hotel room is based on the location of that property. And when you look at what hotels do to leverage that as a unique selling benefit, it's actually really sad most of the times. They will give that destination topic really high priority in their navigation, but then when they actually try to provide content to the traveler about their unique destination and the selling points around that, it really falls short. And so that's where maps really come in. They don't have this long form multi-day descriptions that the tour operators have, but they've got this really powerful story they can tell.
Hey,
about
I'm back. Sorry.
All right, we got you back.
Hi, Carlos.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
That's the disadvantage of not having an IT guy right next to you as we do in the office. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Sandra, please carry on, and then we'll
So it was
wrap up.
we improvised a little bit since we weren't able to hear the question, and I was asking Jude about what innovation does he see content related on the industry, and he was talking about how MAP is being used and some of the challenges he sees on the hospitality.
Yeah, Carlos, we were just talking about how hotels have a real opportunity to use their location as a unique selling benefit, as a unique selling proposition to their customers. The location is the #1 factor in booking a hotel property, and yet hotels haven't figured out how to leverage that as a sales tool. So we're using maps a lot of times because they don't have these long lists or paragraphs of words, but they have a point on a map, and it's a unique point on a map that they could tell a story with. So the hotel in downtown London can really put the story together of all, the top attractions, museums, things to do for kids, things to do for people who like adventure or art, and tell a story to their customers on their webpage through keywords, the content associated with those words, but doing it through map-based technology instead of keyword-based interactions. And Carlos, I know you had a great question, but unfortunately we didn't hear it. So if you wanted to revisit that, we can.
Absolutely, yeah. Actually, thanks for bringing it up. What I was asking was cut off is I'm thinking in terms of the traveler's inquiries, for example. Is it relevant in order to align my interest as a traveler, as someone who's looking for specific information or experiences on the web? Is it relevant to is the efficacy of the rich media content that is being generated depends on whether it's being created, or is there any other aspect, be it technical or content-wise, that is going to make it more effective or more appealing to me as a user, regardless of my whereabouts?
Yeah, there's a few things that go into that. I mean, and there's also different levels of effort involved from say our end to deliver on that type of promise. Where we've decided to start is kind of what I mentioned. If you take a point of interest, say the Statue of Liberty, and we know how to tell a story visually about the Statue of Liberty. We're not getting into history, how it was built, the number of visitors. We just want to show the user what that